Hello and welcome to Cosmetics Business in Conversation with CPL Aromas. I'm Julia Ray, editor of Cosmetics Business, and it is my great pleasure to be joined by Glenn Moran, who's Group Analytical Manager at CPL. Glenn, first of all, great to have you here. Could you maybe tell us a little bit about CPL Aromas and also your role there?
Thank you. So CPL Aromas, we're an international fragrance house, and the important thing about us is that we are a fragrance-only house. That means that we can devote all of our energy, all of our creativity, and all of our talent towards innovative fragrance creations for a huge variety of different products across personal care, fine fragrance, household as well, and in markets all around the world. Hopefully a lot of people will know of CPL Aromas. We celebrated our 50th anniversary in 2021, so we've been around for quite a while now. We were originally known as Contemporary Perfumers Limited, and the contemporary aspect of us is something that we've retained, really. We've always tried to be a different fragrance house, to try and innovate and do fragrances in a slightly different way. And we're still family owned by the Pickthall family. And we think that gives us a real sort of independence and a uniqueness of approach. So my role at CPL Aromas, I work in the analytical department, which is part of the research and development team. And my role really is to come up with creative and innovative new technologies to try and help us to be that independent contemporary company that we want to be. And I'm very fortunate really to work at CPL, where innovation is such a sort of core part of everything that we do.
Fantastic. So what does sustainability mean for a fragrance company like CPL Aromas in 2023?
Sustainability is really at the heart of absolutely everything that we do. It's really important to us. So it's one of our core ingredients, which is our values, is that we have a sustainable mindset. So we're very conscious that we have a responsibility to future generations. And sustainability can mean a lot of different things. So if in the environment, it's very important to us that we have innovations and things that we do to protect the environment and to limit any damage that we can cause. But sustainability is also important because it's about people as well. So we have other things that we do. So we support a variety of different charities, including CAFOD, who do some great work supporting some of the most vulnerable people in the world. And we do a lot of work to support our own staff as well. So sustainability is really important to us through the business. For me, it's very important as well in the research and development team, because my role is to help to create new technologies, and these should always have a sustainable outlook as well. So we have technology including EcoBoost that we do, which is a unique form of fragrancing formulation where we use 10% of the normal fragrance dosage, and we don't have to compromise on quality or performance. But at the same time, we're reducing massively the impact caused by transportation and packaging and simply resources used. Other innovations we work on that have a sustainable outlook are things like Aroma Called Bio, where we do make microencapsulated fragrances that are biodegradable. So we're eliminating microplastic waste that are caused by those kind of productions. And my favorite technology that we work on, and one that I work on, specialize on a lot, is Aromaspace, which is a really great way of working in harmony with nature to create true to nature scents and fragrances.
Fantastic. I'm intrigued by this Aromaspace technology you mentioned. Can you explain for maybe those of us who haven't heard of it before, what exactly Aromaspace is?
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of people have heard of headspace technology, and that's part of what Aromaspace is, but it's only part of the story. In truth, we use a family of different extraction techniques where we can take a fragrance that's in nature. So that could be a plant, a flower, a fruit, a space, an idea even, and we're able to convert that natural smell into a fragrance. And the way we can do that is we do it by looking at a sample. Let's say it's a flower, for example, and whenever we can smell something, the reason we can smell it is because the flower is producing a very fine mist of aroma molecules, like a cloud above itself. And when we work on Aromaspace, we're sampling that aromatic cloud, and we can take that scent without touching the plant or anything else. We can take that, we can concentrate it, and we can take it back to our laboratories where we are able to use different analytical techniques to kind of unlock the natural state, the natural secrets, and create a true to nature smell. And that's just one step, of course. We then have to combine that with our perfumery team, who use their creative talent to convert this technical recreation of the smell and to turn it into something a little more rounded and more beautiful and more usable for the end user. So that's a really a technique that we're very passionate about, and it has so many potential uses. It goes beyond just the kind of headspace of flowers, as beautiful as that is, but we can apply it to lots of different kind of areas, and it's very much in keeping with our sustainable mindset as well. So we can do so we are able to take the scent of a plant without touching the plant. We don't even have to damage it. We don't have to distort the natural smell, and the plant's left completely unharmed at the end of it, which we think is a fantastic way to create fragrances.
So if you can capture the smell of just about anything, what are the most unusable or creative smells that CPL Aromas has developed using this aroma space?
There's so many potential areas that you can apply it, and people come up with great ideas for us all the time. But probably one of the ones that I really liked and was a really tough challenge was the scent of a thunderstorm. So that classic after a period of dry weather, and you get the thunderstorm, that earthy ozonic smell that is really characteristic but really hard to define. We found that was a really interesting odor to capture. So we were able to sample that. Obviously, you can't make a thunderstorm happen on demand, so we had to wait for one. And but we were able to recreate that smell. And often it's known as petrichor. That's like the technical term for the thunderstorm. And it's really kind of unique, and really, there's nothing else really quite like it. So you can't get a thunderstorm extract commercially, but we were able to kind of recreate that smell. So that was one of the most sort of unusual ones that we worked on. But there's lots of different areas we can sample. So we think of ourselves as fragrance explorers a lot of the time, and we get to go to some really great places to sample flowers and things like that. So if we're looking at florals, probably one of the most exciting we worked on. We had the opportunity to go to the King's private home at Highgrove, and we were able to sample some of the by invitation, we were able to sample some of the plants in his garden, which was an incredible privilege. And there's some beautiful specimens there. Recently, we sampled a weeping silver lime, and you can now see that launched in a Penhaligon's fragrance called Highgrove Bouquet, that was work created by Julie Pluchet, and that started out from the aroma-based analysis of this tree. And it's a particular tree as well. You can be very specific. It's not like with a crop of an essential oil where you're subject to variations from one field to another. You can actually specify the very tree that you want. If one smells really great, you can go into that one that was picked out by the gardening team at Highgrove, and we were able to recapture and recreate that smell. And it's astonishing smell, and a real opportunity to do something so unique. Not just to a particular plant or a particular species, but you can be really specific about the specific tree or plant that you sampled. I think that's really exciting.
Excellent. There's so many opportunities for creativity there. I love the petrichor aspect as well. That's amazing. Are there any other benefits of aroma space as well? For example, when it comes to communication between the perfumer and the client, maybe?
Yeah, I think there is, because one of the difficulties, one of the challenges in fragrance is that there's no it's very difficult to get an agreed vocabulary. We use certain phrases to describe, and I think our vocabulary is not as good for smell as it is maybe for sound or for vision, and often there's a little bit of a disconnect between what we want to describe and what we really mean when we're talking about smells. Even expert people who've been in fragrance their whole career sometimes struggle to define exactly what they want, whereas with aroma space you're kind of cutting out that verbal description. You're literally extracting the thing that you wanted. So if somebody wants a smell that's evocative of a particular place or plant or time, you can do that. You can literally take the sample and show it, and it's always much more powerful to show something than to tell, I think. So if we can recreate, we can capture, the smell of, an environment or a space or a plant, and communicate that olfactively directly with the customer. I think that's so powerful. And I think that's a real advantage of the technology.
Yeah, it really gets over that hurdle, which, as we all know, is a bit of a classic barrier for the fragrance industry there. So if somebody's listening and is interested in learning more about Aromaspace, and I imagine there's quite a lot of people, what companies might this solution be ideal for? And, how can they get involved?
I don't think there's any limit to the type of companies that it can be useful for, really. We probably initially thought this was going to be for fine fragrances only, but it's not the case. Actually, it's really applicable to lots of different markets, lots of different application types. It's incredibly versatile technology. So we were able to use it really effectively in candles and home care, just as we do in fine fragrance and personal care. So really, I think most customers would find it useful, and I think it adds a real layer of authenticity to the fragrance. So I think any customer who's interested in that would have an interest in Aromaspace, really. And they can absolutely contact CPL Aromas. We have an inquiries form on our website. Anyone contacting that will get in touch directly with our sales team.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Glenn, for joining me today and telling us a little bit more about this really exciting and versatile technology. So that was Cosmetics Business in conversation with CPL Aromas. For more interviews with leading players in the beauty industry, like CPL, subscribe to Cosmetics Business's YouTube channel.